Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. I'm Ty Glenn. Hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. 7 games on the slate for today. Hopefully you guys were watching those 7 games. I know there was a big game in the NBA with Klay Thompson returning to the Golden State Warriors yesterday. Hopefully you got to watch at least some of the NHL games that came on before that game yesterday. But without further ado, we are going to go ahead and get started. So Linus Ullmark makes 27 saves in the Senators 3-0 shutout win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so Ottawa moves to 8-7-0 this season. We all know the last time what happened when these two teams met. Of course, Riley Gregg had a slap shot into the empty net, and Morgan Riley cross-checked them from behind. Therefore, a suspension right there. And it's always nice to see these two teams go at a battle of Ontario right there. Ottawa outshot Toronto 41-27 in their shutout win. And it was the 9th career shutout for Linus Ullmark and his first with the Ottawa Senators since he was traded to them by the Boston Bruins on June 24th. Josh Norris, Tim Stuso, and Michael Mario all scored goals for the Ottawa Senators. For the Leafs side, of course, they were shut out, but Anthony Stolarz made 38 saves for the Leafs. Of course, they were still without Austin Matthews in this game, and they have won 3 in a row entering this game as well, and they moved to 9-6-2 of the season. Ottawa returns home Thursday to face the Flyers at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Toronto Maple Leafs head to Washington, D.C. to take on the Capitals at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Now we're moving on to the Winnipeg Jets and the New York Rangers. So the Jets, they continue their winning ways. I mean, they're 15-1-0 of the season. They won last night against the New York Rangers 6-3, and they become the first team and the first fastest team in NHL history to win 15 of its first 16 games to start the season. So they passed the 2022-23 Boston Bruins, 2007-2008 Ottawa Senators, 2006 to 2007 Buffalo Sabres, 1985-1986 Philadelphia Flyers, and the 1929-1930 Boston Bruins, all of which did it in their 17 games, which of course was the fastest before the Jets broke the record. Kyle Connor, Michigan native, he had a 3-point night, notching 2 goals and 1 assist. Mark Scheifele scored 2 goals in the win, and Neil Pionk had 3 assists. And Nikolai Ehlers had 2 assists, while Connor Hellebuck made 33 saves in the game. And Winnipeg has won 7 in a row on the road. They're 7-0-0, 9th team in NHL history to win at least 7 on the road since the 2023-24 LA Kings, who were 11-0-0, 2006-7 Buffalo Sabres, who were 10-0-0, 2009-2010 New Jersey Devils, 9-0-0, 2018-19 Nashville Predators, 8-0-0, 2009-2010 Pittsburgh Penguins 7-0-0, 2005-2006 Detroit Red Wings 7-0-0, 1985-1986 Philadelphia Flyers 7-0-0, and 1940-41 Toronto Maple Leafs, who was 7-0-0. So they become the 9th team in NHL history to win at least 7 games on the road. And Gabriel Velarde and Mark Scheifele each extended their point streaks to 8 games of the season. And Will Cooley notched 2 points of the night for the Rangers, 1 goal, 1 assist. And Artemi Panarin, he had an assist to extend his home point streak to 8 games for the New York Rangers. And Igor Shesterkin made 27 saves for New York, who are now 9-4-1 of the season. Rangers are back at home Thursday against the Sharks at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Jets continue their 3-game road trip in Tampa to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time Thursday. Now we're moving on to the New Jersey Devils and the Florida Panthers. So Jacob Markstrom, he makes 34 saves in the Devils' 4-1 win over the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. So the Devils and the Panthers' 7-game winning streak, and they improved to 11-6-2 of the season. Florida moves to 11-4-1 this season. Jack Hughes, Timo Meier, Paul Cotter, and Andre Palat all scored for New Jersey. Jesper Bratt and Dougie Hamilton each had 2 assists in the game. And, of course, the Devils have won 6 of their last 8 games. For Florida side, Sam Reinhart scored for Florida. I think he's actually tied with Cole Caulfield for the leading lead right there. Of course, both of them wearing number 13, which is, of course, the iconic number of the late and great Johnny Gaudreau. Spencer Knight made 20 saves in this game, and it was the first game that the Panthers lost for the first time since October 22nd against the Minnesota Wild, which they lost 5-1, but they were on the 7-game heater, won those back-to-back games in the Global Series, and just continue to rack up wins until this game against the New Jersey Devils. And Brendan Dillon, who had a fight in that game, said in the interview that his team wants to compete against the best teams, and what better way to do it against the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. So that's what he said in his interview after that Devils and Panthers game from yesterday. Of course, these two teams will play each other twice this week, so they will play again Thursday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. This rarely happens. This kind of happens every once in a while, rarely happens, so it doesn't happen too often. So it's nice to see that the NHL has made the Devils and Panthers play each other two times in like 1 week. So I wish we would see more of that, because that would be really cool, because that kind of adds the intense and competitiveness for both teams. So we'll see if the Panthers can bounce back Thursday against the Devils. All right, Boston Bruins, St. Louis Blues, 2019 Stanley Cup Final rematch between the two teams. David Pastrnak scored the game-winning goal in this game with 1 minute and 47 seconds remaining in that third period to get the Bruins, the 3-2 win over the Blues. So even though the Bruins didn't win in that 2019 Stanley Cup Final, they win in this game right here against St. Louis. And so Boston improves to 8-7-2 of the season, while the Blues move to 7-9-0 of the season. Charlie McAvoy had a 2-point night, notching 1 goal and 1 assist. Morgan Geekie also scored, while Jeremy Swayman made 20 saves for the Boston Bruins. So, of course, 3 unanswered goals in that third period, all from Morgan Geekie, Charlie McAvoy, and David Pastrnak, the game winner, to give the Bruins the 3-2 win. And, of course, the Bruins had a bad start after trailing after the second period. I think they were like 5-0. I don't really know. But they had a rough start trailing after 2 periods, and they finally capitalized in this game against St. Louis. Boston is 4-1-1 in their past 6 games. So, nice start for the Boston Bruins, and still trying to find their way. For the Blues side, Braden Shen and Oscar Sundqvist scored for St. Louis, while Jordan Binnington made 27 saves for the Blues. And, of course, the Blues have lost their 3rd straight game in a row, and they end their 5-game homestand 2-3-0. These two teams are at it again Saturday at 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time. This game will air on NHL Network for the NHL Network Showcase. So we'll see if the Bruins can go 2-0 against the Blues this season. And the Blues, on the other hand, they are hoping to answer back with a win over Boston in Beantown. But before that happens, they play in Buffalo Thursday against the Sabres at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. That game will be on Hulu and ESPN, so you will be able to watch it. Boston heads to Dallas Thursday to play the Stars at 7 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, now we're going to get into the New York Islanders and Edmonton Oilers. So Leon Draisaitl, he scores 2 goals in the Oilers' 4-3 overtime win against the New York Islanders. One of his goals, of course, was the overtime game winner, 16th career overtime goal for Leon Draisaitl. His 16 overtime goals are tied with Connor McDavid for most in Oilers franchise history. Connor McDavid, he had a 4-point night himself, notching 1 goal and 3 assists, and he is 1 point away, just 1 point away from 1,000 career points in his career. He only needs one, just at least 1 point to notch the 1,000 point plateau. So we'll see if he will get it in the next game against the Nashville Predators, in which, of course, they are 2-0 against them in the season, because they beat them both. They beat them at their home barn at Bridgestone Arena. So we'll see if they can go 3-0-0 against Nashville this season. And of course, Connor McDavid is looking to become the fastest player to reach 1,000 points. Of course, Wayne Gretzky did it in 424 games. Mario Lemieux did it in 513 games. And Mike Bossy did it in 656 games. Evan Bouchard, he had a goal and 2 assists for the Edmonton Oilers. And Stuart Skinner made 19 saves in the game. And the Oilers have won 2 in a row, and they moved to 8-7-1 of the season. For the Islanders side, Anders Lee scored twice in that third period. Kyle Palmieri, he had a 2.9, getting 1 goal and 1 assist, while Ilya Sorokin made 38 saves for the Islanders. And they have lost 2 straight games in a row, but they are 2-0-2 in their past 4 games, and they moved to 6-6-4 of the season. They continue their 5-game road trip in Vancouver Thursday against the Canucks at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Oilers play the Predators Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, Canucks, Flames. So the Canucks, they hold off the Flames and they win 3-1 at home. Vancouver improves to 8-3-3 of the season. JT Miller, he had 2 assists in the game. Elias Pettersson, the birthday boy, he had a goal and an assist for 2.9. Eric Brenstrom also had a goal and an assist for 2.9. Of course, he scored his first goal as a Canuck in that game. Kevin Lankinen made 27 saves in the Canucks win over the Flames. And the Canucks, they bounced back in this game after losing 7-3 at home against the Oilers last Saturday. So this was a bounce-back game for the Canucks, and they have won 4 out of their past 5 games. So they are really rolling right there. For Calgary, Justin Kirkland scored, while Dan Vladar made 29 saves for the Flames, and they moved to 8-6-3 of the season. Of course, the Flames were playing a back-to-back set. They previously won 3-1 against the LA Kings at home on Monday. Of course, that game was on Amazon Prime for all you Canadians to watch the game, while the U.S. residents wasn't able to watch the game, which I wish the NHL would make NHL games available on Prime for U.S. residents as well, with Canadian residents. So, yes, I know every Canadian team is going to play on Amazon Prime on Monday nights, but at least make it available for U.S. residents as well, because you got some American teams also playing the Canadian teams on Prime, so why not make it available for U.S. residents? All right, so the Flames, they return home to start a 4-game homestand against the Nashville Predators Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, while the Canucks continue their 6-game homestand against the New York Islanders Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, last game of the night, Seattle Kraken, Columbus Blue Jackets. So the Kraken, they scored 5 unanswered goals in their 5-2 win over the Blue Jackets. Seattle moves to 7-8-1 of the season. Jerry McCann, he had a 2.9, notching 1 goal and 1 assist. Jordan Eberle, he had 2 assists in the game, while Joey Daccord made 38 saves. And the second period really led the way for Seattle. I mean, that's what sparked them to this win, as they would get four unanswered goals in that second period, of course, from Ty Carty, Brandon Tanev, Ellie Tolvanen, and Will Borgen to power them to the win. For Columbus, Sean Corrali and Zach Ashton Reeves each had a goal and assist in the game, while Elvis Merzlikins made 28 saves. And the Blue Jackets, they have lost 6 straight games in a row, so they end their 6-game road. I think they ended 0-5-1 during the span. They're 0-5-1 during the span in their last 6 games. They were on a 5-game road trip, I believe, and they have lost all 5 of their games during their road trip. 0-5-1 during their 6-game losing streak. 5-8-2 of the season. So not going so well for the Columbus Blue Jackets. They hope to at least break this 6-game losing streak at home against the Pittsburgh Penguins on Friday. Of course, that game will air on NHL Network. And this is a first of a back-to-back set for the Columbus Blue Jackets, because after that game at home against the Pittsburgh Penguins on Friday, they head to Montreal to take on the Canadiens Saturday at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Of course, that will be part of Hockey Night in Canada, something that all us hockey fans, especially Canadians, are looking forward to every Saturday, hence the name Hockey Night in Canada. But it's something that all hockey fans, including myself, like, even though I'm American, I always love to tune in to Hockey Night in Canada every Saturday. Now just make my days a lot better tuning in to Hockey Night in Canada. I mean, always a great time. when Hockey Night in Canada comes on. Seattle, on the other hand, they continue their 6-game homestand against the Chicago Blackhawks Thursday at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, NHL games on the slate. So there's only 5 games on the slate for today, 10 games on the slate for tomorrow, but we're going to get into the ones for today, of course. Detroit Red Wings taking on the Pittsburgh Penguins at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. This game will air on TNT, True TV, HBO Max. First of a TNT doubleheader right there. So, of course, the Penguins. I wouldn't want to beat Mike Sullivan on Monday because on Monday, the Penguins had lost 7-1. They allowed 6 goals on 12 shots. And it was just a bad first period in that game because Dallas blew them out of the windows on Monday. So, of course, the Penguins, they're definitely looking to answer back in this game against the Detroit Red Wings. Of course, another solid, good team to watch as well. Of course, Dallas was the better team on Monday. 6-goal first period for them. Of course, the Penguins, they're looking to get a win at home in front of their home fans against a solid, great Detroit Red Wings team. So that game will be on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max right there. Toronto Maple Leafs taking on the Washington Capitals. Of course, Austin Matthews questionable for this game. He wasn't available in the last 3 games. We'll see if he shows up tonight in this game. That will come on at 6:30 p.m. Central Time. Carolina Hurricanes taking on Utah Hockey Club at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Of course, the Hurricanes look to continue their winning streak. The last game was a 5-2 win against the Vegas Golden Knights, giving the Golden Knights their first home loss of the season. So they look to build up that winning streak against Utah Hockey Club. And, of course, the LA Kings taking on the Colorado Avalanche at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Of course, the Kings look to bounce back after their 3-1 loss in Calgary to the Calgary Flames. Of course, the Avalanche, their last game was a 4-3 overtime win against the Nashville Predators. Look to continue or make a winning streak in this game as well. I know that didn't make no sense. But that game will air on TNT, True TV, and HBO Max. It will be available for you guys to watch on there. Second game of a TNT doubleheader right there. And, of course, the final game of the night, Vegas Golden Knights, the VGK, in Anaheim to take on the Anaheim Ducks at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. So, of course, the Golden Knights looking to bounce back after their only home loss of the season, 5-2 loss at home, looking to bounce back in this game on the road against the Anaheim Ducks. So that will come on at 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for the show. So thank you guys for tuning in. As always, of course, there is going to be a video coming out on the TG Hockey channel. This is going to be me reviewing over Team Canada's projected roster for the 2025 NHL 4 Nations Face-Off event. So that video will be on there today. So make sure you go ahead and tune into that video. Of course, that is a first of a 4-part series that I'm doing as well. Of course, the next one will be Team USA, Team Sweden, and Team Finland. But today, we're just reviewing over Team Canada. So that video is out on the TG Hockey channel. So make sure you go tune into that. Of course, they'll release the official rosters on December 4th. So I'm just reviewing over the projected rosters and players that we think will be on those teams. All right, guys. So that's all I wanted to say. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. God first as always. Be blessed. I'll see you guys Friday for another episode of the Hockey Talk with TG podcast. Take care.